Hey, it's James here from goodguitarist.com, and today we're going to show you our top 5 easy love songs on guitar. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Christina.
Hello, everyone.
This is actually her idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to share some music with a loved one to show them that you care. So you don't have to be like Ed Sheeran or like a professional or whatever. I'm sure they're going to love what you put your heart into. So I think that let's just learn some easy songs.
Yeah.
Show we care.
That's great. Yeah. Really quick before we jump into it, if you need help with any of the chord shapes, like it's all simple stuff, G, E minor, C, D, really basic strumming. But if you need help with that stuff, I have a free ebook. It's completely free for all my subscribers. I'll put a link to that in the corner as well as down below in the description. Anyways, we're just going to jump right in. Our first song is Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. We're starting off on a G chord.
Okay, so why don't you start the intro and then I'll join in.
Sure, we're just going to demo it for you guys and then we'll talk about it after.
Puts on her makeup, brushes her long blonde hair, and then she asks me, do I look alright? And I say yes, you look wonderful tonight.
Let's go into the bridge.
I see the love light in your eyes, and the wonder of it all is that you just don't realize how much I love you.
That's great. So, that song is just G, C, E minor, D. Obviously, it's not the exact same order the entire time, but it is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to write it. I don't know where that's going to fit between our heads. Normally, I put it in the corner where she is, but I'm just going to write out the chord progression. And you can see it's G, D, C, D. So you'll want to be really good at the switch from G to D. You can like leave your ring finger down for that. That makes that one a lot simpler. And then from D to C, my little trick is to leave my middle and my ring finger. If you take off your index, that's the shape they make. Take off your index. Oh. That's the shape they make on the C chord. And then you can just move that up. Just move these two fingers up, 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 up. And then you can put down your C chord. And it's like a bit of a smoother transition that way.
Okay.
You know, you have your own way of switching chords, right? Like you've been doing this for a while. But...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just throwing my thumb over too for this.
For the D chord? Oh, you were doing the... In the actual recording, there is D over F sharp.
So I had D, right? And I just kind of like used my thumbs.
Yeah. And I play it this way, but it's the same chord shape essentially.
Still a D though.
Yeah, you just use the D chord there instead. I have another lesson where I teach this whole thing exactly like it if you do want to learn that. You know, every one of these chord symbols is you play through it for 4 beats or 1 strumming pattern each, except where noted. And speaking of the strumming pattern, I would just use the most common strumming pattern ever, just down, down, up, down, up. And to get that one, a lot of people, because it's syncopated, have a little bit of issue with it because beat 3 is missing, you know? So when I'm working through it, I would just do the first half, just going down, down, up, 3, 4, down, down, up, 3, 4, 3. Yeah, and see how she's moving her hand even during 3, 4? That's really important because that keeps your body in the rhythm of it, right? And then for the second half, this is where the practice comes in. We go 1, 2. Note that I'm moving my hand as I do that. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. 1, 2, miss, up, down, up. So if you're having trouble getting your strumming pattern to sound smooth, little things like that, like taking the time to count it out, making sure your arm is moving the right way, like that's going to make all the difference. Anyways, we put that all together really slowly. 3 and 4 and down, miss, up, down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
Can I play without a pick? I've been playing without a pick.
Of course. She always plays without a pick, and
I don't
sounds
really-
great.
I lose them, you see.
I'm a fan of the pick.
See. No
Anyways.
pick, it's fine.
Yeah, somehow we get along and our marriage, works. But anyways, so yeah, that's it for that tune. Like I said, I just have the thing written out. You can always rewind it and just play through that with us at that other section. I've kind of marked off all the sections in this video. Anyways, the next one is All of Me by John Legend.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. Got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of you, all of you, love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you.
So when it comes to playing that one, once again, the core of it is just that basic G, E minor, C, D progression. The verse is E minor, C, G, and D. And for E minor to C, if you play it with your index and middle, you can actually pivot off your middle finger into the C chord. That's a bit of a trick that makes it quite a bit easier, because C is a little tricky to grab out of like all the basic chord shapes. I feel it's kind of the toughest. Then there's the pre-chorus, and we're going to introduce another chord shape there. We have the A minor chord.
Oh, the A chord, the A minor, this one? Okay, I noticed when you were strumming the A minor chord, you were doing something kind of different.
Yeah, you know,
Sounded
actually,
cool.
believe it or not, that was actually a super easy trick. It kind of sounds like arpeggiated. But what I'm actually doing is I'm doing the exact same strumming pattern. And this song, by the way, uses the same pattern as Wonderful Tonight. Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. But instead of strumming all the strings, I'm just doing tiny little motions that kind of pick out individual strings, right? Down, down, up, miss, up, down, up. And I'm not picking any particular string. I'm just keeping the motions really small. The advantage of using a pick versus
it's a little harder
fingers.
with my
You can do it with
fingers.
your fingers though too, I think. It requires a little bit of finger picking. I'm using like different fingers. Anyways, I have the chords written up here. This song has 4 sections, but the verse and the part after the chorus are identical. Just that same E minor, C, G, D progression. And yeah, you know, once you learn those 4 sections, you can put the entire song together because it just repeats those. The next song that we have is Perfect by Ed Sheeran. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
I found a love for me, darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet, and I never knew you were the someone waiting for me, 'cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I know, and in your eyes you're holding mine. 'Cause baby, I'm dancing in
screwed up that little part, but I'm gonna try it, okay? I'm gonna try it. Watch. This is like one beat.
So yeah, as far as like the composition of the song goes, same old chords as usual. The one thing that's different is the feel of it. This song's in what we would call 12/8, and your first clue would have been when I counted it in. I went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and instead of just going 1 2 3 4 or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So I'll just write out the strumming pattern here. It's all downstrokes. The strokes of it aren't the issue, right? It's getting that feeling going. So what I do is on every numbered beat, I play it with a little more emphasis. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you know, and that's really, really important. You can keep playing while I talk. You know, that's really important to really nailing this tune, right? And you do that one time per chord, except once we get to the chorus, we divide it, right? So like when we get to the chorus, we would go, baby, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and at the very end of the chorus, it's also a little bit different. For that one, we would go 1 and then we switch to D, 2 and then E minor, D, and then 2 times on C, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I'm just gonna like write it all out in order so you can see that. I also have another lesson where I teach it exactly. And something that you can do to kind of spice it up is that same kind of thing where instead of just strumming all the strings, like you could go, it's still 3 downstrokes, but you know.
So are you just choosing any notes in the chord?
Yeah,
So
straight
from
up.
my
I start
hands,
on the lowest note of the chord.
So it could
I always
be
start on
like-
the root.
Maybe like,
Yeah.
something like that?
Something like that, you know, and you
That
can just
sounds
kind of
kinda
practice
cool,
that, feel it
actually.
out. Another little trick, just because, believe it or not, I don't really know how to sing the verse. Like last time I took a look at this song was like two years ago probably or something. Just, you can see on my channel the last time I released Perfect. And what I did during the verse was I just strummed each chord once. So even though she was carrying the rhythm, and I just went, I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in. And this way I could focus 100% on the singing because, you know, I'm not 100% familiar with it. I really needed to use a lot of brain power to, you know, make it sound acceptable.
So when I think of so there are a few songs that just kind of spark happiness, and I feel like this is one of them. I
I'm
feel
Yours by Jason Mraz.
Yeah, I feel like I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. It's like you want to pull out a ukulele, you want to hang out, you want to chill out. It's a really chill way to tell someone that you love them.
Well, you done me and you bet I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. Fell right through the cracks.
Now I'm trying to
Get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn
to win some or
learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours.
All right. So what's that strumming pattern that you're doing in this song?
I'm basically doing the most common strumming pattern ever. Once again, that's why it's the most common strumming pattern ever. It's in everything. And we can just make little changes to it. And in this case, I'm letting the palm of my hand rest on the very edge and I'm palm muting, right? And I lift off a little bit, but for the most part, like 60% of the time, my palm is touching the strings. And I keep my strumming really small. The other thing is that I'm doing a swing feel. So instead of doing it like that kind of feeling, I'm swinging it. I'm going like, which is like, when you do a swing feel, the downstroke is longer than the upstroke. You know, down, up, down, up. Sorry, I slowed it way down there, but you know, down, down, up, miss, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down, down, up, miss, up, down. speed that up. It's all about being loose though, you know, don't worry about like gluing your hand to the guitar. That'll tense out your wrist, right? You just want to be loose as you do it. And yeah, the chord progression is just G, D, E minor, C, like over and over again, except in the bridge, it's, I'll just write it out here. You'll see there's an A7 chord in there at the end of it. And for that one, we are coming from a C chord. So you can leave your middle finger down. So you make your C chord, you leave your middle finger down, the middle finger, leave it down, and then you put your ring finger 2 strings underneath it. So on like the B string, A7. And that's it for this tune.
So our next song is You Were Meant For Me by Jewel, which is such a classic 90s tune. And I'm looking at the chart and I see it has like C add 9, like the word add in this chord, and G6 and E minor 7. And can we explain that?
Yeah, basically those are 90s chords, and it all revolves around a trick where you leave 2 fingers down. So like if you make your G chord, like your classic G chord, these 2 fingers right here, your ring and pinky, are going to stay down for all the shapes. So we start on G, we're going to move our index and middle down 1 string each, and that makes C add 9. And we go, you know, C add 9, G, back to C add 9, then we go to E minor 7, and for that you once again leave those 2 fingers down, and then you just make an E minor shape with your other 2 fingers, and that's E minor 7. There's one other instance in this tune. Actually, there's a regular D chord in this song, so you could go to like D sus4 if you want to keep it simple like this, just using the same trick. You just put your index down on the 2nd fret of G, or you could pop that into a regular D chord, which would be a little more correct technically in the context of this song, but either one works depending on where you're at. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. As far as the strumming pattern, it's the most common strumming pattern ever. Let's actually just play a little bit of it, and then we can discuss if there's anything left to discuss after that. Starting on C add 9. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Here's the clock, 6 a.m. I feel so far from where I've been. I got my egg, got my pancakes too, got my maple syrup, everything but you. I break the yolk to make a smiley face. I kinda like it in my brand new place. So wipe the spots off the mirror, don't leave the keys in the door. I never put wet towels on the floor anymore, 'cause dreams last for so long, even after you're gone. I know that you love me, and soon you will see you were meant for me, and I was meant for you.
Cool. Yeah, a couple things I noticed there as we played through it. For the most part, you just use the most common strumming pattern ever, and you can use that trick where you keep the strokes small and you just pick out individual notes. I wouldn't palm mute this one because it's not that kind of song. And another thing you can do is you can actually lift up your pinky sometimes during some of those chord shapes. So during C add 9, for instance, you could, I'll just wait for her. Yeah. You could lift up your pinky and you could get the open E string. And that sounds pretty cool too.
Yeah, I like
I was just kind of experimenting as we played it, and I was like, that's neat.
I like the 90s.
Yeah. And as far as like the more like the mechanics of the song, once we get to the chorus, there's usually we're doing the strumming pattern 1 time per chord shape, but during the even after you're gone, and during the G and D, they share a measure. So we have to split our strumming pattern between those 2 chords. And rather than splitting it like down, down, up, and then going miss, up, down, up, I'd rather just go down, down, up on G, down, down, up on D, and then continue as usual on E minor. Other thing is that there's a bridge in this song, and something that prevents a lot of people from playing certain songs is like this 1 bar chord that just pops out in the middle of the song. Like in this case, there's a B minor bar chord when she goes, hearts are broken every day. But we have a little trick that we can do there. We can go, same old story, not much to say. Hearts are broken every day. So for the B minor, I'm substituting it out for essentially B minor 7, which sounds very similar and it fits in this whole 90s vibe. We're coming from a D chord, leaving my ring finger down. Ring finger stays down the entire time for every one of these chords in the entire song. And then I'm switching to E minor, except my middle finger is actually going to be 1 string higher. So it's on that. So it kind of feels like the switch to E minor, except my middle finger's going to be on the G string instead of the D string. And I just strum it once, let it ring out. It fits the vibe of the song. Broken every... And then I just have to move my middle finger. And that works really, really well. Yeah, and that's it for this entire tune, and I believe for this entire lesson.
Yeah.
So those are 5 songs. I'm just, like a real Cole's notes of them, how to get through them with some shortcuts to, simplify out the bar chords or any other tricky parts that are in the songs. If you have any questions, please let us know down in the comments down below. And while you're down there, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. It really helps support us and our family so that I can make these lessons and everything.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have anything to...
No, I think...
This was her idea.
We did a lot. And plus, got to work on my strumming and palm muting and picking out notes and 90s chords, and I think it was
playing with others.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. So
and if you want to
pretty happy.
improve your skills in any way, I do have a bunch of courses. I have that free ebook. I'll put links to all that stuff down below. You can check it out if you're interested. Have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.
Have a good one.